No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
What up, bitches? It's Lelouch of the rap game, aka K9 Senses,
and I'm back up in this bitch
for another list. Sorry it's taken me so long to make this video, but I've finally gotten all caught up. I have listened to every rap and hip hop album that was released in 2021, and some were great. The others were an absolute struggle to sit through, on the other hand. With that being said, let's get into my list for the top 10 worst rap and hip-hop albums of 2021. Before we do that, be sure to follow my social media. The links are in the description. Also, don't forget to check out my new song on SoundCloud, Exact Opposites. It's a song that I really put my heart and soul in. It's a great song with a different concept compared to the other songs that I've made.
He's mentally fallen apart, lost in the dark after he got shot in the heart by a fraudulent broad. His brothers in arms wanted him to rot from the start, contemplating his death as he quietly sobs in the car. He'll be forgotten and gone in the flesh, sabotaging the plot, caught up in drama. He'd eventually be involved in a lot, psychologically soft compared to Sargon of Akkad. He thinks he's God, but he's not, it's all a facade.
So let's actually get started with 5 dishonorable mentions and jump right into the top 10. Starting with, of course, DJ Khaled with Khaled. This was just a mediocre album from start to finish, just a bunch of underproduced garbage beats with lackluster rappers that don't contribute to anything in this project, except the song with Jay-Z and Nas, but even then that song was just a flash in the pan. But the other songs that are on here just straight up suck. Big Paper with Cardi B needs no explanation on why that's a piss poor attempt at a song. Both Grease and Popstar, which featured Drake, were boring as fuck. And the worst of it all, there is even a song that has Lil Baby, DaBaby, Post Malone, and Meg Thee Stallion on the same track. Like, I'm 99.9% certain that DJ Khaled does fuck all contribution when it comes to his own work, but for Christ's sake, dude, you have zero self-awareness. Either invest in a different career or stop being a total narcissist, you thick fuck. Next dishonorable mention is BRS Cash with Cash Only. Now, if only I rated this album lower, just so it could be placed in my actual top 10. So this guy is fucking lucky as shit, because I had to sit through 12 songs of pure filler at best and absolute torment at fucking worst. Do you have any idea how bad Throat Baby is? And do you even know how much worse the remix is? Well, I'm not going to describe my experience in full detail. You give this album a listen and see how you like it. Next dishonorable mention is the Migos with Culture 3. Now, you already knew that this had to be brought up in this video, since I made a video talking about this disaster piece of an album. But what can I say that hasn't already been said? This album is littered to the brim with terrible production, whack beats, worthless guest features, cookie cutter flows that are making 3 6 Mafia fuming with anger, and the Migos style has aged like warm milk on a sunny day in the middle of Phoenix, Arizona in 120-degree weather. If you're asking me to revisit this album again, no fucking thanks. Next dishonorable mention is Trippie Redd with Trip at Night. I never talked about this album for good reason. Now let me just say this. This album sucks ass. Every beat sounds the fucking same with ear-piercing synths, repetitive kick and snare patterns, and awful 808s that are more muggy than the bayous in Louisiana. The guest features paid no contribution, they just wanted to get paid for themselves, and Trippie is just terrible. I listen to this whack-ass rapper and I'm like, what the fuck do these casuals and fake hip-hop fans find appealing about this guy? He's nothing but a goddamn Lil Uzi clone, and hell, I'd rather hear Lil Uzi Vert than this guy, and I'm keeping it a stack of Benjamins. The last dishonorable mention is Iggy Azalea with The End of an Era. This album is nothing but a waste of time, and hell, at the time that this album had been released, I didn't even fucking know that it came out. So I don't want to spare a shit ton of my time on this culture vulture and this shitty album, because I feel like it'd be a waste of time. That's how trash Iggy Azalea has been, just a fucking irrelevant female rapper as a whole. Number 10. Ola Runt with Atlanta's Most Wanted. Does anyone even know who this motherfucker is? No, seriously, I don't even think most of his fans know who he is, and for good reason, because this album fucking sucks. I mean, this album is not considered to be something that I would go out of my way to listen to, unless if I intentionally listened to it as a coping mechanism for puking my entire body weight or passing a goddamn kidney stone. That's the sole purpose for albums like this existing. They're meant to gross you out with shitty beats and whack rhymes. Babytron with Ben Reaper 2. So this guy apparently is a modern Detroit rapper, and if you know me, then you know I absolutely despise that style of rapping. Off-kilter cadences, shitty beat composition, and rappers with practically no talent rapping as off-beat as possible. I'm talking T Grizzly, I'm talking Sada Baby, I'm talking that garbage-ass Michigan Boat mixtape by Lil Yachty, and I am certainly talking about Babytron. Bro, I'm sorry, but this album ain't it. This rapper ain't it. This tracklist sure as shit ain't it. I mean, why the fuck is this album 27 tracks? That sounds so interchangeable, you're practically listening to the same song 27 times. And don't even get me started on the production. This is the laziest sounding production I've heard in a decently long time. The last track even sampled a Star Wars score, which is corny as shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I occasionally like it when people sample soundtracks from certain movies, but what the fuck is this?
Do the dash in the sky, fly it like an X-Wing. Bitch, I'm Mr. Pull up to the bank and make the check ping. Back-to-back champ, yo team losing like the 10th seed. I cut the traction off and make the vet squeeze. Subi Jean rocker, riding around with some bean pop. Everybody 5+, we don't do the team hop. Scan vet, 2016, I would've green dot. 7.62 demolish shit, this a tree chopper. Punching like
John Williams, where the fuck you at? You see what this culture vulture is doing, taking a fat shit on your hard work? This is why I hate Gen Z so much, cause they can get away with this shit and suffer no repercussions. This guy's a joke, I can't stand this trash-ass rapper. Number 8. RX Nephew with Too Tough Tone Tarantino. No one knows who you are. Moving on. Number 7. Cash with Public Announcement. No one knows who you are either. Moving on. Number 6. Smiley with Buy or Buy 2. Okay, now this is an album that I can talk shit about, considering that this is a blatant insult to hip-hop as a whole. Literally, the only reason why this album was so hyped up was because this guy did a song with Drake. But once 2022 came around, the hype just faded to oblivion. Like, if you made a song with Drake and you become irrelevant within the next 3 or 4 months, that's how you know you fucked up. But aside from that, this album wasn't anything impressive lyrically, technically, flow-wise, delivery-wise. This album lacked everything, and the beats were trash as well. Number 5. Lil Got It with Top Chef Got It. So, I've listened to Lil Got It's albums, including this one, in the past 2 years, and oh wow, they are absolute hot garbage. I mean, you can't tell me this dude actually has fans after the release of this trash-ass album. I've heard YouTube rappers that make better music than this without even trying. No, I'm not talking about the wannabe Eminem YouTube rappers like Crypt, Chase, or even Luke Gone. I'm talking about the whack-ass rappers on YouTube like KSI, Rice Gum, or even Jake Paul. So yeah, these rappers need to step their game up, otherwise they are simply just gonna keep making this list. Number 4, Y&J with Coochie Chronicles. Okay, the fact that this fraudulent rapper is an album named Coochie Chronicles just makes me feel amused. Like, I'm not even legitimately angry, I'm just flat out entertained by that name. If you want to become a rapper and you want people to take you seriously, don't do shit like that, please. Number 3, BBK Cody with Witness Greatness. So from here on out, the top 3 worst albums on this list have earned a score below the rating I gave for the worst album of 2020, and that was Find the Beat by Blueface, which was a bare minimum of a 2 out of 10. So if that doesn't tell you that the bar is set so low, I don't know what will. First of all, whose idea was it to include a track list of 43 fucking songs? Seriously, I don't even care if you're even objectively a good rapper. There is no way I'm listening to that many songs on one album, mostly because by 20 songs, you're gonna run out of shit to say, and this album is double the maximum number of songs you should have in a rap album. Like, I'm so confused. Who the fuck is asking for this shit? I'm genuinely confused as to what the fuck to do at that point. But I digress. Let's move on before I pop a blood vessel on the microphone. Number 2, Soulja Boy with Soulja World. So since Soulja Boy released at least one project this year, it would be appropriate to put at least one album on this list, and Soulja World is at the number 2 worst spot. These albums are getting more migraine-inducing by the minute, and it clearly shows. Calling Soulja Boy a rapper is an insult to every rapper because this man can barely stay on beat, his delivery is fucking disastrous, and the auto-tune is atrocious. I'm not even going to talk about the lyrics because they are just typical I just fucked your bitch for literally no reason type of lyrics and random flexing type of lyrics. But there's only one album that managed to be even worse than this album and the album before that, this one. And the shit that I went through while listening to it was so unforgiving. But we have to talk about it. And the worst rap and hip hop album of 2021 is Stun a Girl with Stun of This, Stun of That. There is nothing that I can do to get at least 30 minutes of my life back after listening to this colossal, catastrophic clusterfuck of something you call music. I can't even tell you how much I wanted to jump off of a fucking cliff after hearing this album. Hearing this album is way worse than finding out your girlfriend cheated on you while you were still in a relationship with that woman. It is way worse than finding out your girlfriend is a stripper who has an OnlyFans account, basically just outright treating you like garbage behind your back without even knowing it. And it is way worse than waking up with the worst news in your life, hearing someone who is close to you who tragically committed suicide by overdosing, and I nearly fucking lost my entire life over that shit. Never again. Never again will I listen to an album as trash as this. You can shit on Blueface's album. Like, that album wasn't nearly as bad as this, let alone the top 3 worst rap albums this year. But this is a blatant insult to hip-hop. And not only that, it's a flat-out insult to music as a whole. It's also an insult to real hip-hop fans such as myself. It's an insult to men, and it's an insult to women who are portrayed as nothing but sluts and gold-digging bitches who degrade themselves for attention and money. But K9, that's what women empowerment is nowadays. You just don't get it. Go fuck yourself. Just because men can't degrade women based on sexist remarks doesn't mean women have to do it to themselves. Female empowerment, my fucking ass. I have never in my life felt so insulted by the sheer ignorance that I was listening to. This is why hip-hop is completely dead, because mainstream female rappers like this hack are completely diluting the industry with their horrible and lame-ass sex appeal without displaying any musical talent or lyrical depth. Nothing would make me happier if I got the chance to say that to each and every one of their faces after they released this abominable piece of fucking shit. So yeah, that's gonna be the video. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to comment. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Again, follow my social medias. They're on the screen if you can't fucking see for yourselves. I need to fucking finish the script for the top 10 best rap and hip hop albums of 2021, just to show you guys that I really do mean fucking business. It's been K9 Senses. I'm going to fucking lay down and die now.